right, well, good morning, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming out here today. We are in for some real excitement here over the next several days in Louisville. We're really honored to welcome some of the greats in baseball to Louisville, or back to Louisville. Especially, we're honored to welcome Johnny Bench and Chipper Jones and all the other Major League legends to our city for the inaugural Bluegrass World Series. Couldn't find a better home at a better time. When you think about Louisville, when you think about all the sporting events that we've got going on in our city, we've got a lot to be proud of. Of course, we got this little horse race that happens once a year called the Kentucky Derby. There's only one city that is the home of the greatest of all time, and of course that is Muhammad Ali, and he's left an imprint on our city that will be with us for centuries. When you think about all the college sports activity that we have going on here, we're truly a city that loves sports. And then when you think about the various special events that we pulled together, our partnership with the NCAA, of course, is fantastic. We got the Breeders' Cup coming up this November. When you think back about golf here, PGA Championship, home of one of the best, if not the best golfers in the world. And then, of course, that historic Ryder Cup victory happened here in Louisville as well. We're at the alternate home, or additional home, of USL champs Louisville City FC with the new soccer stadium coming on. So there's a lot happening. And, of course, when you think about baseball, the iconic statue of Wee Reese right outside of this building, and when you think about his moment, that Jackie Robinson Wee Reese moment, really was one of the critical actions filled with symbolism at that time about a white baseball player putting his arm around a black baseball player that in that time was unusual, and sent a message to the rest of the country that we're all in this together. So what Pee Wee did, what Muhammad Ali did from a sports standpoint, really distinguishes our city, I think, above all other cities. And then, of course, we're the home of the Louisville Slugger, the iconic Louisville Slugger just down the street. So when you put all that together, there's a lot going on, and the table is set for some really good activity. The Bluegrass World Series, now, when we add that to all the other things that we have, there's another great event on the calendar for families and sports lovers to come out and see some of the great names here playing at what I think is one of the great parks in the country here at Slugger Field. Tomorrow night, we'll have an honor to, really timely honor, to honor newly inducted Hall of Fame member Chipper Jones in the Chipper Jones Hall of Fame game at 7 p.m. And for those that kind of followed Chipper this week in his induction speech, obviously did a great job and has been a tremendous asset to the game. Then on Friday night at 7 p.m., we'll honor a guy that lives right up the road and arguably the greatest catcher of all time when Johnny Bench is in town. And we have the Louisville Celebrates Johnny Bench game at Slugger Field. So we love the sports aspect of this too, but when you think about what this series is putting together in terms of helping our city and helping the country in such a positive way, we love that. It ties in with our city value of compassion. And one of the goals of this event is lay the foundation for fundraising efforts to support local military and charitable organizations. At tonight's game, the series will celebrate USA Cares. USA Cares was founded locally by Bill Roby and his team. They've done a tremendous job with veterans. They're a Kentucky-based charity that supports post-9/11 families. So please be sure to come out and support them. And then on Friday, we're expecting 300 Gold Star families to join us as we honor the service and sacrifice of these families, of the men and women that obviously paid the ultimate sacrifice. And we're doing that through the Herschel Woody Williams Medal of Honor Foundation. So anytime we have an opportunity to speak respectfully about Gold Star families and hold them up and give them the honor and support that they deserve, we should do that. Without question. So Friday night we have that opportunity. So we're really excited about what the Bluegrass World Series will mean here for our city. It's fun and innovative events like this that have really helped make Louisville an increasingly popular tourist destination. 16 million tourist visits last year in our cities. So the vision for the hall, from the halls, and the series partners like Horseshoe Southern Indiana and El Toro is that next year, these guys are already talking about next year, these baseball legends will come back again to our city for the 2019 Bluegrass World Series, and then add a bunch of other projects here, concerts, hunting and fishing expo that will bring even more visitors to our community. So this just helps the great momentum that we've got going on in Louisville, but when you think about where we're at as a city in baseball terms, I'd say we're in the first or second inning here. We've got a long way to go, and events like this really help us. It takes sponsors to make it happen. Brad Siegel is the president and general manager of the Horseshoe of Southern Indiana, and Brad saw the potential of this event from the beginning and made the decision that Horseshoe of Southern Indiana would become the host for not only the players on the Louisville Stars, but also the wives and close to 70 children who will be there with their dads. So this is just a great way to bring everybody together. So please welcome Brad Siegel.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Brent, of the Bluegrass World Series. As the Mayor just mentioned, he talks often about how compassionate a city Louisville is and can be, but Brent, to bring out so many great players to torment a sponsor is unique. I'm a lifelong Kansas City Royals fan, and many of these players have brought back a few bad memories for me growing up in the 90s. But this week, I am certain we're going to make nothing but good memories. So at Horseshoe, our mission is to inspire grown-ups to play, and that mission extends outside of the casino. We embody it through community events, much like this one, the Bluegrass World Series, where all ages can enjoy the action. And what an incredible lineup of players we have here assembled in Louisville this week. We've got Hall of Famers, All-Stars, World Series champions, Cy Young Award winners, Gold Glove winners, and even a Dancing with the Stars runner-up. Sounds like that might be a mistake, but it's actually not. So, and I'd especially like to give a shout out to several Royals. I call Johnny Damon a Royal. That's where he got his start, and John Buck and Mark Teehan, and especially Chris Medlin, who brought a World Series championship to Kansas City. So listen, on behalf of the 1,300 Horseshoe Southern Indiana team members, we are honored to sponsor the Bluegrass World Series. We take pride in helping play a part in making all of Kentuckiana a great place to live, work, and play. Our involvement this year is made even more special as we at the Horseshoe celebrate our 20 years of being part of the Kentuckiana community. So as we celebrate our 20th anniversary, we are thrilled to sponsor the inaugural Bluegrass World Series and look forward to a fun and exciting week. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Brad, and again, thanks to Horseshoe for helping put this thing together. So we go from Horseshoe to Barbara Sexton Smith, our councilwoman from District 4 here. Welcome, councilwoman. You go from Horseshoe to really right across, let's see, the street here to El Toro. El Toro is a great local company that has an international footprint that started here some 6 years ago and has developed into one of the powerhouses in the tech industry. So we're really proud to have them here locally. Week before last, we had a big kickoff at their event to showcase all of the success going on with their Code Louisville program. And when you walk in, you see these models, mannequins, I guess you should say, dressed up in professional baseball uniforms in there. I said, something's going on in here. And that's where Sean talked to me about the partnership that they're bringing together, and Brent was there, with the Bluegrass World Series, and how they wanted to be involved with this from the very beginning so that they could market and lead education and then help the community as well. So please, let's hear from Sean Stafford, the co-founder and president of El Toro. Sean?
I'm not originally from Louisville. I'm a transplant from southern West Virginia. Growing up, we didn't have a whole lot of baseball. Down in Charleston, we had the then Alley Cats. They're now the West Virginia Power. And I can tell you, when I was a kid, I just loved going to baseball games. I just absolutely loved it. I was so excited. And of course, moved here to Louisville, and we started El Toro. And one of the clients that we sought out originally when we founded El Toro was the Louisville Bats. It's because I wanted to be involved with the Bats. I wanted to do something with them and help share that excitement that I felt as a child to other people and let them know about the Bats. So we've been in a partnership with the Bats for 4 years. One day, James Breeding, Greg Galliette came to me and they said, "Hey, would you like to be involved in a Bluegrass World Series where we bring in some of the biggest names in baseball who are retired and want to come and have fun and hang out in Louisville? Does that something that sounds good to you?" Yeah, absolutely. It sounds like a great time. So I was able to meet Brent and Haley and Garrig, and it sounded just like a wonderful opportunity to not only have fun for our team at El Toro and for me to have fun, but to help other people experience this as well. This is something that's very unique. I mean, this doesn't happen really anywhere else. I knew that they did a trial run in Wichita a couple of years and figured out that it made perfect sense and people loved to do it, and decided to come to Louisville. And I've obviously been a big champion of the Bluegrass World Series, and I've talked to all my friends and contacts about it. And I've had a few people say, "Well, that sounds fantastic. So why are they doing it in Louisville?" And it's the same parallel that I tell people about my tech company here in here in Louisville, El Toro. Why Louisville? Well, why not Louisville? This is a wonderful city. We're centrally located. We're a gateway to the south. We have wonderful weather, a great local baseball team. There's so many things here that makes Louisville a great city for the Bluegrass World Series to be hosted. So it kind of makes sense. And with bringing all of these stars to Louisville, it's a great opportunity not only for us, of course, to enjoy baseball, but it's for the local economy. I mean, like I said, it's very unique. Some of these people, like Chipper Jones, he's publicly stated that he's never before been to Louisville. Okay, that's great. Welcome to our city. And while you're here, maybe you would like to come back, and who knows, people might want to relocate at some point in time. It's just a great introduction. And of course, people are going to be coming from miles around in order to see people like Chipper Jones and Johnny Bench, and of course, Corky Miller's return. So yeah, we were excited to be included in the lineup here. And also I want to give a shout out to the Bluegrass World Series because of some of the stuff that they've been doing. I know they've been in contact with Youth Build Louisville, which is a wonderful organization, one of my favorite organizations here in town, and of course the Herschel Woody Williams Foundation, which I'm a big fan and supporter of as well. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for having us being a partner with the Bluegrass World Series. Thank you for all the giving back that you guys are doing with a lot of these families, and it's wonderful to see some of the great people that are showing up for the series. Just to keep some things into perspective, in 1875. The Kentucky Derby was founded here in Louisville. Back then it was just a race. And then in 1960, Cassius Clay had his debut. He was just a starting fighter. Now, in 2018, we've got the Bluegrass World Series, something that I believe this is going to carry on year after year and become bigger and bigger, and I believe a big staple of here at Louisville. So, in closing, I'd like to say one great hit last night, Corky. Yeah, I think that ball landed in Indiana. Yeah. Two, thank you again for having us being a partner and coming out and enjoying baseball. And lastly, I'd like to thank the mayor's office and everybody else who were able to put all this together. So thank you so much.
Sean is a great community member as well. He mentors a young man named Ali Mohammed, and you'll see this tie here. I don't know if there's any other bow ties like this, but he makes them out of wood, and this young man has started a company, StorywoodBowties.com. Please help promote it. Thank you for mentoring them. Good job. Okay, now we're going to hear from Chad Graham. Chad's the president and CEO of the Herschel Woody Williams Medal of Honor Foundation. So with his remarks, you're going to see kind of the full vision of what's happening here with the Bluegrass World Series. I think many of you all have heard of Woody. He's the oldest living Medal of Honor winner from Iwo Jima. He's 94 years young, and he's going to be on the field throwing out the first pitch with Johnny Bench on Friday, August the 3rd. And then, as I mentioned earlier, that night 300 Gold Star families will be here in our midst so that we can support them. So when you think about the foundation, what they're doing with the assistance of UPS, they establish Gold Star Families Memorial Monuments in communities throughout the country, and importantly, really importantly, provide scholarships to eligible Gold Star children. Its purpose is to honor Gold Star families, relatives, and Gold Star children who have lost a loved one in the service of our country. Please welcome Chad.
Well, hello. I want to thank once again everybody for putting this together. I mean, what a great opportunity. Something that the mayor touched on, and something that Sean touched on. Something that it makes us unique here in Louisville is that compassion and the willingness to team up to serve a greater good. Our motto at the Herschel Woody Williams Medal of Honor Foundation is "The cause is greater than I," and that cause are Gold Star families who have sacrificed a loved one in military service so that we can be free. I know as a kid, and something that Sean talked about, being a kid and being a huge baseball fan, one of your first exposures to the national anthem in public is when you're standing on that baseline as a little guy or a little gal, and you take your cap off and you put it over your heart. And so it's this great tie that's woven into our nation's pastime of baseball. And so there's a natural relationship that's given way to, and that's something that we've built, and we came to the Bats 3 years ago with the first Gold Star Family Day at the ballpark idea, and it was something that the Bats just ran with. We thought we'd have to come in and give this robust presentation and really tell them about Gold Star families and what it meant, and we didn't. The Bats jumped right on board immediately, and they said, let's host these families so that they know that this community in Louisville and this region cares about Gold Star families, and that we honor, serve, and respect and recognize them and their fallen heroes. And so the Bats jumped on, and that was how the Gold Star Family Day at the ballpark started. And as we've moved year to year, you've seen the support from the community, from those leaders in our community like the mayor and his office and his team. And then we see folks like UPS, like Horseshoe, Indiana, like El Toro, that just jump in and say, we want to be a part of this. We want to help honor these families. And so this year we had an opportunity to once again be a part of the third annual. And as we came to the team here with the Bats and with their leadership, and we're kind of narrowing down on what dates to hold the Gold Star Family Day at the ballpark, we were welcomed by a great opportunity from Bluegrass World Series. The Halls as a family they're tremendous folks, and what they're doing is really highlighting something that in terms of sports is amazing and unique. But they're really using that as a platform to get some of these great players like Corky here to really draw folks in, and then use that to really help other people do things in the community. And that's where we came in, and it's really kind of formed this great partnership and relationship so that we can do our best to honor, serve, and recognize Gold Star families. It was one of those things where we asked the folks at Bluegrass World Series, would you be willing to host this? And it was once again much like the Bats did, and what we've seen with the supporters of the foundation and of the mission, is they jumped in, and they jumped in with both feet. And they see the importance of the sacrifice, that we couldn't come to a ball game, we couldn't come watch some of our Louisville Stars play baseball. We wouldn't be able to pass that on to our children and be a part of this as a community, and be a community at all, if someone hadn't paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. So the Herschel Woody Williams Medal of Honor Foundation is honored to be in partners with these folks in our community, with Horseshoe, with UPS, with El Toro, with Bluegrass World Series, and with all the players and families. They're becoming a part of our community, and they're becoming a part of our collective mission. So once again, I just want to thank everyone that made this happen today, and especially want to thank Bluegrass World Series and our own Louisville Bats, who are going beyond what their expertise is as sports, but they're also experts at bringing this community together and making it a community that we can all be proud of, because we are serving a greater good. So thank you so much, and appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all today.
Thank you, Chad. All right, now we're going to hear from some of the guys that make this sport so great and entertaining to watch. Local guy Chris Burke, St. X grad, ace with Houston Astros, moved back to town to begin this next phase of his life, including which he gives back a lot to the city. He's on the board of directors of Love City, which is in the Portland, West Louisville neighborhood that's helping bring kids up and really realize their potential. So, Chris, if you want to come up here and let us recognize you.
Thank you,
Also going to hear from Corky Miller, who for many years was the unofficial mayor of the city of Louisville. Corky is the only player in Louisville Bats history to have his number retired, and no other player will ever wear Corky's number 8 again. So Corky, we really appreciate you coming back and putting so many smiles on people's faces here that watched you play over the years. And notably, he and his teammates and their families all came to Louisville on their own dime to support the Bluegrass World Series. And then after them, they'll bring up Brent Hall, who of course is the president and founder of the Bluegrass World Series, and is a great entrepreneur and has got a great heart for the game and for our country as well. So Brent, we look forward to that. So please welcome Corky up again. You'll hear from Chris and Corky.
I want to thank the Halls and Mayor for letting me come back out here and play. You know, I haven't been here as long as Chris, but, you know, my first year in 2000, you know, was a different city. And it's grown in the last 18 years, and my kids have grown up here, and you know, it's been like a second home to me, and I appreciate that. And the stuff that's happened downtown with 4th Street Live and the Yum Center and just the amount of people that come out to the games and love this city. I appreciate everything that everybody's done. I am the unofficial mayor, but I don't want your job. I mean, you do an amazing job here, and I appreciate everything. And when people ask if I'm going to run for mayor, I said, no, you're doing a great job. So I'll let Chris say some few words. Thank you again, and I hope this is another stepping stone into the future, as you said. So thank you.
Thanks. Let me just first start by saying to the Halls, Brent and Garrick and Haley, there's a ton of work that has gone into this, and I've been able to communicate with them kind of along the journey, and to see it all finally come to fruition, and this grand week is pretty cool. So thank you all for believing in Louisville and coming here. As somebody who's born and raised in the city of Louisville, I love the town, and when I heard an event like this, a game of baseball and celebration of the city, I was all in. But we couldn't do it without our sponsors, so thank you to the Horseshoe, thank you to El Toro. Like, just amazing to have some of those names behind this, what we're doing. And Sean, I agree with you. I think this has a chance to be a monster event, and one that I hope the city really puts on their calendar and uses as a week of celebration of all that we have as a city, and the great game of baseball and this beautiful facility that we have here with Slugger Field. So I think it's got a chance to be a great partnership. Thank you to Woody Williams Foundation. We as players, I think often feel guilty at times that we are celebrated as much as we are, knowing that we are kind of faux heroes compared to the military. And so it's great to be able to do anything that puts the spotlight on y'all and what you do for us. And I love your motto, that the cause is greater than I. That's a beautiful thing for all of us to reflect upon. Thank you, Mayor Fisher, and all that you do for our city and get behind this event. Let me just say, from the players' perspective, as you come here as a retired player, it's a little different feeling. I think there's a sense of gratitude and appreciation for what we're getting the opportunity to do. I know for me, somebody who hadn't played in 8 years, to run out there between the lines last night, put on a uniform and do it in front of some friends and family that honestly don't know me in that chapter of my life was pretty cool. And for my kids to get to see me play, and some people that know me as a totally different person to play the game I love and do it in front of them was a great experience. And I know a lot of people feel the same in that locker room. So really, from all the players, we just thank the city for coming out and supporting. I hope the event's going to grow as the week goes on. And as Sean said, I hope this is just the beginning of an awesome relationship moving forward. I'm going to bring up the man who's really kind of responsible for making all this happen, Brent Hall. Brent?
Thank you so much for being here today. Mayor Fisher, thank you so much for everything that you've done. I think the theme of the Bluegrass World Series is family. I think that if you encompassed everything that we hope to become, that is our core values, it's family. It starts with my daughter Haley and my son Garrick, who we believe so much in this community that I actually moved them up here in February. We had great people like Gary and James Breeding and Stewart and Jerry Katzoff who believed in this vision, and they became part of this family. You got the Bats employees and workers that are unbelievable. I mean, the experiences that we've had for the last several months has been second to none. Their tenacity, their dedication to the bats and to the city of Louisville is amazing. I'm so proud that I've went from saying the word Louisville to Louisville. I've progressed in that nature too. But the whole thing is family. And, you know, with Mayor Fisher behind it, he's got a family of all the citizens of Louisville and all the people that are going to be impacted by this event that can and will grow into something very special. We have so many dedicated people. And I mean, when you look at Chris and Corky here, they were the superstars of the game last night. They stole the show. They, I think, drove in 4 of the 5 runs we had. And Corky, of course, had to show off for everybody and hit a home run. But it was an amazing thing to watch these guys come back and embrace each other as the families that they are. So we couldn't do it without people like Brad joining the team and the family, and Chad and Sean and so many business people in this community and everyone. The one thing that I'd just like to say is thank you for welcoming us to this tremendous community. We hope that we can make it proud. We hope that we can, most importantly, make a major impact in the lives of those children and military veterans and their families who need our support and love the most. I mean, there's so many out there. I mean, the stories that we hear and the experiences that we see and the faces that represent our country and again have given the ultimate sacrifice. I'm inspired every day to be a part of building an apparatus in a city like this that's going to work together as a family to make it a thing that can raise millions of dollars for those causes. And having these players believe in that, that's their mission. I'm just a servant of their wishes. When you see Adam LaRoche's and Nate Robertson's and Chipper Jones and Tim Hudson's and David Ross, who are really the spearhead of this, they're the guiding force behind what our cause is. They tell us, let's make sure we build a monster that can support people that need our help. And that's what they have done. And we're very proud to be here. And I just, on behalf of myself, my children, and everyone affiliated with what we do, I can't tell you thank you enough. This city is amazing. The people are amazing. The businesses are visionary people who understand what the plan is. And hopefully as a team and a family, we can really do some great things under Mayor Fisher's leadership. I think that's gonna happen. And we love the input. So any business person, any charity, we want to hear from you and be able to get you in the family too. So in closing, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's made this very special. We can't wait for Chipper to get in town tomorrow. I know everyone's been nervous about him. We are too. His wife is due any day, but he's scheduled. We talked this morning. He's scheduled to be here tomorrow. Johnny was supposed to be here on Thursday. He's so excited about it that he's actually moved his arrival date up. So he'll be at the game tomorrow night too. So Johnny will be at the game as well. So a lot of superstars will be here. David Ross gets in town tomorrow. Tim Hudson, Roy Oswalt, a whole bunch of guys. So, and on behalf of all of us, thank you very much, Councilwoman. Thank you for coming out today too. And everybody, Kyle, everybody with the bats have been great. So, again, thank you so much, Mayor Fisher.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Brent. All right. All right, thanks, guys. And Brent, thank you and your family again. I mean, these guys are amazingly low-key, and they are putting on a world-class event here. So I really want to encourage everybody in the city to come out and check out the Bluegrass World Series. You can go to bluegrassworldseries.com to see the rosters and also purchase tickets. And for the moms and dads, grandmas, granddads out there, think about this as a way to teach your kids about a bigger picture. Not only about the national pastime, but about Gold Star families, about giving back. This is something that you don't have an opportunity to do very often, and it's happening right here at our very own Louisville Slugger Field. We appreciate Gary Ulmer and the Bats hosting us here as well. So come on out here over the next couple of days and be a part of history.